Welcome to my podcast. Hey, you guys, this is Zira, also known as Love of the Dark. It has been 6 months since I've done a podcast, and I feel bad, sort of, whatever. It's been a long time, and I got a bit depressed and just wasn't doing a whole lot, or so I thought, but when I look around me, I've got a lot of stuff that I've been doing. But with the world in chaos and our state on fire and just all of the bullshit happening politically, I just have not had the drive, I guess, to do a podcast. But I happened to turn on YouTube today and I saw that Chevy Rell, who is like literally my favorite podcaster in the universe, did a new one, and I was inspired to come on here and show you what I've been making. So this one is, well, I guess it's relatively equally split between crafty and witchy. So there's that. Speaking of witchy, let's just talk about this, shall we? I completely am blanking the name of the pattern, but I don't think that matters. It's a frickin' witch hat. It's the best witch hat I've ever seen, and it's by oh my gosh, I have two things by the same person and I'm blanking. Oh, it's Tiny Owl Knits. Of course it's Tiny Owl Knits. My favorite designer slash singer. She's amazing. Check her out on YouTube, or not on YouTube, on Ravelry. It's been a while since I've done this. My tongue is a little fat. Anyway, so yeah, this is one of her creations. I fucking love this hat. When I first made it, the brim was really like rolly and wrinkly and floppy, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna make this work. Well, I went down to Craft Warehouse, and they had these big metal hoops that you would use to make, like, I don't know, maybe dream catchers or other, woven kind of art decor for your wall. And this one, I stuck it around my head and I was like, that's about the size of a brim of a hat. Let's see if this will work. So I just basically took the edge of the hat and sewed it up around the brim, and it's perfect, and I love it so much. I can't even. It's wonky, and the way that she has the pattern written, it's not a super strict, make a decrease every so many stitches. It's like, make this many throughout the round, kind of wherever you want them. And that's what's going to make the hat have the individuality and the quirks, because where you make the decreases is where it ends up being kind of wonky and strange. And it's a fold hat, so you knit the whole thing and it's this gigantic monstrosity of a hat, and then you toss it in your washing machine maybe 1 or 2 times until it kind of shrinks down and does the thing. And I don't ever want to take this hat off. I'm going to take it off. My hair's a disaster. I haven't colored it in a while. Yeah, I love this hat so far more than I don't know. This is just the best hat ever, right? I want to wear it to work and to the store and just in general. The cool thing about it being wool is that it is waterproof, so I can go out in the rain and I'm not going to get my hair all wet, which is nice because my hair goes when it gets wet. Anyway, this is my hat. I'll probably wear it through the whole episode. This other thing that I knit from her, I'll save for last because it's really, really great. I've been working on my quilt squares. I've been doing this crazy quilt with my partner where they put the blocks together and then I do the embroidery and embellishment and such. And I showed you a few of them, but they're all finished at this point. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to make like 3 or 4 more to either make it a little longer or a little wider. But I might not. I might be done, and I might just need to put it together. We'll see. But this is the first one. Looks a little wonky. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at here. It's really awesome. Are we going to struggle with the autofocus again? I'm going to put it on autofocus for a second. See if we can get some good detail. Yeah. Super pretty. So there's one block. Buzz. This one I'm leaving rather bare. I just really love the little witches there in the middle. You know what? I'm going to let it focus. I'm going to take it off of autofocus because it drives me crazy. I'd rather just not have it focused rather than going in and out and in and out. Anyway, so there's that one. There's this one. Super cool. This thing is going to be amazing. I keep thinking, you know, with all the beads and embellishments and everything, it probably would be best as a wall hanging rather than actual something to put on the bed. But I don't think so. I think I'm going to actually put this on top of my bed and just not actually use it for, you know, while we're sleeping, but just as a decorative piece. It's so fun. Look at that. Let's see here. There we go. I love it. Look at my little, look at that little flower. I'm learning all kinds of new embroidery techniques on this thing, which is really bad. It's kind of like almost a sampler of sorts. I love that one. I love that bouquet of daisies. So good. So good. This is a cool one. I learned this flower. Pretty yellow flower there. I just love. There's an embroidery gal on YouTube called, you guys, I think it's like Rose Handiworks or something like that, or Handiworks by Rose something or other. I'll link it below. I really will. She's really great. She doesn't give a step-by-step, like, first you put the needle here, and then you go here, and you wrap it around. She doesn't talk at all during her things. But she moves in such a way that you can really clearly see what she's doing, which I absolutely love. There's this guy. I really like this black. I like all those buttons. Buttons make me happy. And then there's this guy, and I think I've got two more that I didn't grab that are out in the living room. So there's a bunch of them. Anyway, I'm super excited to put those all together and to bind them with I'll probably do like black in between. Partner says purple. There is purple in probably every one of these. That could be an option too. I like the defining quality of black. I don't know, we'll see. We will see how it goes. Speaking of embroidery, oh my gosh, I've been doing so much embroidery. I never knew I'd be an embroidery person until I started that thing, and I'm like, oh, you know what else I can embroider? We'll start with these guys. I think I've showed you this little girl before. So I make poppets for magical workings. There's cat hair. I live in a cat house. Some things are going to have cat hair on them. It's just part of the craft. What are you going to do? But I make magical poppets, and these are all listed on my Etsy shop, which is etsy.com/shop/Loveofthedark. No spaces. There's my little rosemary girl. These are large poppets. There's my moon goddess girl. I've been doing a shit ton of these. There's my night moon goddess. She's sparkly. If you see, ooh, look at all the sparkle. I love her. You can do all kinds of neat things with poppet magic. Basically, any kind of manifestation that you want to do. If you want to do like self-work, if you want to work on your own like self-love, for example, or if you're aiming for a better job or a better position at your job, if you want things to be peaceful in your house, if you want to settle conflicts with your neighbors, I mean, there's just anything that you could possibly want to do spell-wise, you can use a poppet for, which makes me super happy. So some of these are in plastic. I'm hoping, oh yeah, you'll still be able to see them. These are all listed and ready to go on Etsy if you need yourself a poppet. Poppet magic is very strong. We've got our little, there's another rosemary. Let's see if I can, I'm not going to take them all out because that's so crinkle crinkle. It's crinkle crinkle hell. There's a candle goddess. And the little scrolls basically kind of tell you what they are and describe different ways that you could use them. This one I love. It's got the little flowers kind of in descending from light to dark. So pretty. This is an awesome harvest goddess one, and I thought really seriously about keeping her, but I ended up just making myself one. so I can sell her to somebody who can love her with the wheat and the goblet and fabulousness. This is a beautiful little lotus goddess. She would be good in a fertility spell. And fertility, whenever we talk about fertility in witchy stuff, it doesn't necessarily mean children like that you birth. It's basically any idea that comes from you, anything that you bring forth into the world, any projects or art or music or something that you create. So when we talk about fertility, it's not always about babies, although babies are cool. I like babies. I like other people's babies. This is a basic little swirly spiral goddess. Love her. Here's another candle goddess on purple. Eudemus. Here's a very simple, you can't see because, oh here, there we go, it's covering it up. Little goddess with a heart and a little vajuju, vajayjay, vagini, a little vag. Here's a beautiful little goddess with some roses in her belly. Just beautiful little, oh, you guys, I have so much fun making these. I mean, I have many dozens. Many dozens. This one is one of my favorites. I might actually, I'm going to take her out. I'm going to go ahead and crinkle away and take her out because you got to see her. She is just too cool. I've had a couple of people say, hey, can you make me one just like that, only on pink or on black? And I'm always happy to do that. If you see a poppet in my store that you like, but you want it in a different color, I totally do custom work and it doesn't cost any extra. So there's that. But I'm going to autofocus one more time. Let's see here. Look at her. She's got this beautiful bouquet with the curly loveliness trailing down, and then she's got all this amazing pit flowers coming out, right? Because who doesn't love pit flowers? Ooh, I love her. And we've got some lovely tulipy flowers swirling around on green. And also, if you have a request for a poppet and you have something like specific magical works that you're wanting to do, like let's say it has to do with love, or it has to do with fertility, or it has to do with money, or luck, or prosperity, or whatever, you can just tell me, hey, you know, this is what I'm working on, and I'd like a goddess that kind of goes along with that, and I can totally do a custom design with the appropriate colors. With the goddesses, I make them in the appropriate hour for their use. Now these are generic, so I make them anytime, but if you have a custom thing, I will, like for example, if it's a love poppet, I will make that on a Friday, because Friday is the day of Venus. Venus is the goddess of love, and I will make that within the hour, or begin it during the hour of Venus on that day, or as close to it as I can get. I make all my stuff magically, so I think that's really important. It adds another layer of just oomph, you know, to your spells. So there's that. And if it doesn't matter to you, you can just say, I don't care when you make it, I just want it tomorrow. So there's that. There's those. I've got the little teeny tiny mini ones. They're so cute. This is a whole set of astrological. So we have Venus with her little constellation there. We have the sun with Leo. Ooh, that's harder to see. There we go. We have Mercury with Gemini. And they're all in the appropriate colors. Orange is a color of Mercury, and so is multicolor. And if you see that little Gemini is done with multicolored threads. Very good. We've got Mercury with Virgo, because Mercury also rules Virgo. A lot of people don't know that. It's true. We've got the moon in Cancer. We've got Mars in Aries. We've got Jupiter in Sagittarius. Very cool. And so on and so forth. Scorpio. Love that. Yeah. So I've got a whole set of those. I don't have those listed on Etsy yet. And I don't think I'm going to list them as a set. If you want a set, you could definitely order a set. Just let me know. But I think I'll sell those individually so people can say, oh, that's mine. That's mine. I want to do that. So there's those guys. And then I've got just a bunch of just basic little, I like that one. Cute little flowers. These are little mini poppets, little flowers. More wheat. There's another little harvest goddess, a mini. I love that. Little pentacle. A little spiral. A little lotus. Everybody loves a lotus, right? A little triple moon. Little boobies. For the chaos mages out there, got a little star of chaos. This is a little, it's hard to tell because this little guy is in the way, but that is a serpent that winds around. Serpents are a symbol of knowledge and information, contrary to what Christians will tell you. Basic little goddess. There's a little triple moon goddess with sparkly thread. I tell you what, sparkly thread is a fucking nightmare to work with. It's a nightmare. Like 2 strands tops. Otherwise you're just like crinkling it and oh, it's so fucking hard to work with. It's beautiful. There's a basic little chaos. A lovely little elaborate flower spiral. I really liked doing that one. I'm going to do more of those. And a teeny tiny little rosemary. So that's what I've got for poppets. I know that took a while. Oh, and then a little moon. Oh, you can see. It's a moon with little stars. And that, again, is that fabulous metallic thread that we love so much. It's so beautiful. And you know, every time I go to the store to get supplies, I'm like, look at that beautiful metallic thread. It's like all the different colors that I want. It's so shiny and pretty. And then my inner me kicks myself in the ass and says, you fucking hate working with metallic thread. What are you thinking? So there's that. Let me have a sip of my gin and tonic. A little grapefruit in it. You know what? Before I started this video, typically when I start a video, I do a little like 10 to 15 second like la-di-da-di-da, hooty-hoo, ha-di-ha, and I double check it to make sure the sound is working. And I didn't do that for this video. And I'm just going to keep going and hope that that the sound is right. Alright, well, speaking of embroideries, I've done some things. Okay, I'm going to fold this up so it's a little easier to see. I found a cool website, which I will do my best to link below. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but they have all kinds of really great, like witchy themed embroidery designs. So I got some. I got some. It's not like we're just gonna want some. Alright. Fold that up like such. So I did on this one, this is the Wheel of the Year, and I'm gonna go ahead and autofocus for this one. So you can really see it. Okay. Focus. Focus. Focus, focus. There we go. So you got your little Yule. You got all of the holidays of the entire pagan Wheel of the Year represented there, and then the beautiful little Trinity knot in the middle. And this this thread that's kind of the little doinky doinks around the center there, it's so beautiful. It's this variegated pink to blue, so pink through purple through blue, and then back through purple and back through pink, and it's like my favorite thing. And it's not metallic, so it's super easy to work with. But look at the little candle. It's like woven. I did a little woven thing on that. Oh, I just did this by the seat of my pants, you guys. But basically, I just took the design, transferred it on here, and just started going. I was like, I'm going to make this thing today. And I made it, and I love it so much. And it's decorative, but I use it for drying my hands. Like, I will put this over my stove handle and use it for drying clean hands only. It doesn't get dirty. It doesn't get gross. But if it does, you know what? It's embroidery. You could totally toss this shit in the wash, and it'll be just fine. It's not going to get weird or anything. So there's that. I made, oh, stop that out of focus bullshit. Okay. I made my daughter a thing. So my daughter is amazing. She is very cool. And I made a very cool thing for her, which fits in with her life very well. I'm going to fold this up again so I can show you. Now, there's a couple of spots on here where I did the transfer, and I have not yet ironed this to get it. Basically, iron using the heat iron gets all the transfer material out. So you're going to see a couple of like weird little spots that look like they're bleeding into the rest, but it's just the pen ink that hasn't been ironed out yet. So no worries. This is a uterus of flowers for feminine power. I mean, what? Let me do that thing again, because I want you to see this. All right. Can you even? Look at that. There's a great big rose for one ovary, and then a little cluster. Oops, where'd we go here? A little cluster of flowers for the other one. I mean, it's just too cute. It's just too cute. I'll post some good pictures of this on my Instagram so that you can see it better. She's going to love that. She's going to totally flip. And I want to put this in a frame. But I want to find like a triangle shaped frame that will fit, you know, it. I'm still looking for one. But that's a gift to her. So she's going to love that. She is an exotic dancer. And I think that that beautiful lady power energy will be very good for her in her path. I've made a cool bag. Oh my god! So I love the Alexander Henry's Gasly's series. So I made a bag with the fabric. Let me actually open that up so you can see it. And I'll do the stupid thing again. Let's see. Can you see it? It's all the cute little the Gasly's. Creepy little weird. In the back, there's this cute little owl. Well, let's see here. How do I find it on here? There he is. He's like, what the fuck? With an apple. Weird dude. Anyway, yeah, I made this. And, that's going to be on my Etsy as well. It's big. It's a nice big bag. It's big enough to hold a lightweight sweater or a great big shawl or like 17 pairs of socks. So there's that. That is it for the fibery creations. I've got something in my eye, you guys. It's probably wool or cat hair. All right. I will now move on to the witchy part of the program. But first, beverage. So, I am very much into incenses and oils and all of those things that we use in our practice. And I prefer, rather than go out and buy a Jupiter oil or a Saturn incense blend, I like to create my own. It's definitely not necessary. It takes up a lot of space and a lot of time and a lot of money, but I really like to do that. And so I have started making blends for others that don't necessarily have the resources to have all of those ingredients that you might need. And I'm finding a lot of success with it, and people are starting to give me feedback, and I'm very pleased with the results so far. So anyway, I have available on Etsy a line of incense that is specifically dedicated to the days of the week. So there's a Sunday, a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday, and a Saturday blend. And they will come. Oh, that's the Friday blend. Oh my God, if that doesn't smell like Venus, I don't know what does. They come in these little 10-gram jars, and they come as a set. You could definitely order some individually if you wanted to. Just message me. I'm totally willing to work with people. They come with the day of the week association. Burnt, my partner does wood burning, and they burn the symbol into the cork so you never forget what's what. And they also come, this is blank because I already know what it is, but they come with a sticker on them that has everything handwritten, what is inside of it, so that you know, I don't know if people be allergic to anything, but it tells you what is in there so that you know if you want to burn it inside or outside. You can make that decision for yourself. They smell so good, you guys. I can't even. So yeah, I'm doing that. They come as a set of 7, or like I said, you could definitely order them individually if you want, but they're not very expensive. I like to keep my prices a bit low. I have everything at this point. I have a really cool job in that I am a retail buyer for a natural food store, but we also sell gifts and tchotchkes and things, and I get to do that part of it. I get to buy that kind of stuff. And we do a lot of metaphysical stuff too, because it just so turns out that a lot of people that are into natural food and natural healing are also into natural earth energies and things like that. So I have access to all this great stuff, and I have literally probably everything you could even want to make incense. I've got rare shit, weird shit, poisonous shit, awesome shit. But I recently got Tonka beans for the first time. I'm super excited about, and I am making a Tonka bean oil. Tonka beans were used for a long time in the United States as a vanilla substitute. They're toxic, so you don't want to do that. In small doses, people still use Tonka extract in tiny little doses for tiny little purposes without a lot of problem, but it is banned in the US for the consumption use. Oh my God. This has only been going for maybe 3 or 4 days, and it needs to go for like 6 weeks, but it already smells like the most delicious vanilla. I would describe the scent of this as a slightly more masculine version of vanilla. It's almost like a vanilla with musk, if that makes any sense. So anyway, that will be brewed and strained, and then I will have my own Tonka bean oil. So excited. I got a pound of Tonka beans. Oh my God. That's 2 Tonka beans, and there is more than enough for 4 ounces of liquid. I'm also making my own ritual oil blends, which is really, really awesome. I'm just going to show you a few of them. So I'm doing like Sabbath oils, and I'm doing like consecrating and blessing oils, luck oils, money oils, things like that. But right now, what I'm wanting to show you is my Samhain oil. This is pine and frankincense and patchouli and lavender in a base. And it smells like Samhain. Oh my God, it's so good. I can wear that all the time. Just smelling it, smelling things. Our sense of smell is like probably our most potent trigger of memory. And smelling that just reminds me of ancient lifetimes, if that makes any sense. It's pretty rad. Oh, I'm also doing planetary oils. I got a couple of those. I've got Saturn oil, which is just so perfectly Saturn. It's so great. I love to make something and let it sit for a while and smell it and go, yeah, that's exactly what that is. That couldn't be anything else. The Venus oil is beautiful. It turned out to be this really cool, super pale blue because there's German chamomile in there. It's an association of Venus. Oh, it's so fragrant. Oh my God, you guys. So those will be going up on Etsy soon. Got my dark moon oil. We've got a new moon oil and a dark moon oil. Oh my God. I can't even. You gotta smell that. I wish we had smell-o-vision. I'd be like, Sniff it. Sniff it. This is what Saturn smells like. So that's it for what I have been making. Sort of. There's more. A couple of things. I wanted to tell you guys about this company. You're probably making masks. Everybody out there and their brother's making masks. And you know what? Keep going, because we are going to need these fucking things for a while. But I found, I had been using like either floral wire or bread twisty ties or whatever for the little nose pinch. And that nose pinch is essential, especially for people that wear glasses. But it's essential anyway because it keeps shit from getting inside. It presses that down so that you're not, you know, just still breathing in everybody's air. Well, there's this company online. They're called Advanced Engineering. And they sell packages of 50 of 2 types of different nose wires. And I wanted to show you. I got them in the mail. I went ahead and ordered them because I'm tired of using fucking floral wire. That shit. It doesn't work. It's okay, but it's not ideal. And as soon as you wash it, it comes flying out one end or it pokes through or whatever. Well, these guys are brilliant. They have a hole at each end so that you can just literally stitch it, just a little stitch to the mask, and they bend really nicely and really easily, and they're there we go. Isn't that attractive? They are stainless steel, so they're not going to rust, they're not going to get weird, and they're not going to bunch up and get weird in your mask. So they have that style. They also have this style. Now here's the funny thing. I didn't think I was going to like this style, because if anything, I would have thought that these outer edges should come up like this so that it's more like a droop. But I have found in using these that this is my favorite shape. This shape on a mask works brilliantly. It's a great fit. It's a little longer, so it goes out a little bit farther, which is nice. It keeps the mask really close to your face, keeps your glasses from fogging up, which is awesome. So I am not... I'm not being paid for shit, but I wanted to tell you guys about this company. They're a really great company. They're made in the USA. It's a small, family-owned operation that are just churning these things out like nothing. So if you are in the business of making masks and you're not using nose wires, A, you should be. Nobody should be selling masks without a nose wire. They're useless. And secondly, these are not very expensive, and they are worth the extra 25 cents per mask or so that it would take, not even that, 10 cents a mask. To make them. They're definitely worth it. Highly recommend. Would buy again. Oh, there's my advertising spiel. I have one last thing to go through, and I'm super excited to share this with you. So, in witchcraft, there's a thing that we call the Book of Shadows. And the Book of Shadows is basically it ends up being a tome of your life's work. It's everything that you learn along the way in your path. It doesn't have to be beautiful, but why shouldn't it be, right? As all of my Libra friends say, I collect Libras. I think I've mentioned that before. I'm a Capricorn. I want everything to be practical. I want lists. I want a checkbox. And some of that's in here too, but I'm also artistic. I also have, you know, a huge artistic sense. And so I thought, well, why not make it beautiful as well as functional? I can satisfy both natures. So I wanted to basically, okay, let me go back. In case you don't know what a Book of Shadows is, it's basically a book that you keep all of your magical workings in and everything that you're learning along the way. So when you learn how to cast a circle, you're going to write about how to cast a circle. This is how I do the thing. This is how I call the god and goddess. And this is how, this is the wheel of the year. This is all of our holidays and what they mean. But it's something that you don't want people poking around in. It's your personal, it's a personal diary of your path. And just like you wouldn't want somebody reading your personal diary without permission, you don't want them reading your Book of Shadows without permission either. And so there's cool things that you can do. But I want to get into this just a little bit here. So, oh, that's the back. That's the back. I went out and got myself a post journal, and I should have brought that in, but I didn't. basically, a post journal is like, oh, anybody who does scrapbooking, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a 12 by 12 book that has posts on the sides, like on the one back side. You can take those posts out and make longer posts, so it can just keep getting bigger and bigger. There's extenders you can get for it. So, I mean, at the end of it all, at the end of your life, you're going to have a tome that's like that tall, right? Assuming you live to a ripe old age, which we all hope for. But basically, it's like a scrapbook journal with the posts, and it's got clear page protectors in there that you can use, or not. You don't have to. I like to use them just in case I ever spill a beverage on it or whatever. I don't want my shit ruined. But I'm just going to show you some of the pages that are in my Book of Shadows. And they're not in any particular order. But I'm hoping that it will give you sort of an idea on how you can set yours up, or how, you know, the kinds of things that you'd want to find in there. Yeah. So basically, this is my first page. My first page looks like this. It's all written in runes. And what it is a spell of protection on the journal itself. It's basically, you know, keep safe from prying eyes, blah, blah, blah. It says a lot of stuff in it, but that's what that is. And that is always, that's my first page. In the back, these beautiful flowers. So that's my first page in my journal. It's the cover. The next page that I have in the journal on the back side is my symbol key. So let me do this thing here. I'll show you just some of this. A symbol key, come on now, focus. Focus. There we go. So all of these words, purification, protection, health, money, blah, 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 blah. Anything that has an association. So let's say you're talking about like the elements, north, east, west, and south, right? They all have associations with them and things that you would use them for. But rather than taking up a lot of space by writing strengthening the will or blah, 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 you can use a symbol in place of that. It's kind of like shorthand. It's kind of like witch's shorthand. So I have the symbol key to remind me, because there's a lot of them, but it helps to remind me which symbol means what thing. So that as I'm going through in my book and I want to talk about, let's see here, let's find an example. I may not have an example yet. My examples might be all out in the other room. Oh, let's say I'm doing herb magic. My herb magic is out there. If I'm talking about agrimony or wood betony or whatever herb, I can just write the symbols. It's a purification herb that can help with love, it can help with luck, blah, 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 blah. But I would just write each symbol there, and it saves a lot of space, it saves a lot of time, and it gives you a whole lot more room to talk about what these things do. It's pretty rad. So I think a symbol key is really important, and using it, you know, using it is important. We've got in here, oh, this is pretty rad. I like this. Let's see here. First of all, we'll start with this. We've got a page devoted to moon magic. And it basically gives the name of each, the name of each moon for each month, plus the 13th moon. It's got a little blurb on new moon magic, on waxing crescent magic, on first quarter magic, and waxing gibbous magic. It's got a blurb on full moon magic, and waning, and third quarter, and waning crescent, and dark moon magic. Because those are all, you're going to do different things at different times of the month. And it gives the kind. So for example, for new moon magic, you'll be setting intentions, you'll be planting your seeds, you'll be dreaming. By the time you get to the full moon, it's the most potent of the cycle. You're going to address major issues and challenges, focus on the most important spells and rituals in your life. You're going to be doing divination at that point, charging your tools and crystals, things like that. By the time the dark moon rolls around, you're going to be resting, you're going to be contemplating and giving thanks for, you know, whatever abundance has come your way. But it kind of just goes through each, you know, each cycle, what's good to do in each cycle. So that's a good thing to have in there, moon magic. And then this is my personal full moon ritual that we do every month. This was written out by our high priestess, and it is basically step by step what we do for that full moon. And the full moon and the new moon have a 3-day window. Stop that stupid thing. So you don't have, you know, if you're like, oh my God, it's the full moon tonight, I didn't prepare it, you can do it the day before, you can do it the day after. There's a 3-day window for that kind of magic. So that's awesome. It gives you a little more flexibility. But it goes through the tools that we need for the ritual. It goes through the before you begin, to the during the ritual, to the after the ritual, and then as with every ritual you do, you need to journal afterwards. Talk about how your feelings were, what happened during the ritual, what you feel was a success, what you feel like could be worked on. Moon magic. Love it. And then we have, I just have a page of the Wheel of the Year. And that, kind of like my little embroidery bit, is just all of the holidays and when they occur. And we've got the dates in here in the inner wheel. We've got the pentacle inside with the different colors of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. And these are actually the color correspondences to those signs. So everything has a correspondence. Everything. But like Aries is red, Leo is yellow, Sagittarius is blue. And from then, as you move towards the signs that are in between them, the colors, change. But everything has a color. So good. And in between these pages, like for example, this Wheel of the Year, I'll have this as kind of the cover page. And then underneath of it, I will have different pages on each individual holiday and what they mean and what they represent and the things that you can do for that holiday, different kinds of foods you might prepare, different oils and herbs and resins and things that might be used, different rituals. So that's just a good cover. All of these are good cover pages for more additional deep stuff. You can see how this journal can get really, really fast. On this page, we have the witch's tools, and it just goes through a few of the very basic tools that witches would use in their practice. You've got your athame, your wand, your chalice, your pentacle, your bell, your cauldron, your besom, and your censer. And it describes what they're used for, what element they're associated with. Super, super simple, but really beautiful. Right? I have my personal birth chart. What? How cool is that? That's all you get to see of that. My personal birth chart, I have a very large astrology section. My areas that I'm really, really, really interested in tend to get bigger and more voluminous. So behind that, we have the, let's see here. We have a page of the planets, and this goes through each of the planets and describes what their attributes are, what they're good at doing, problems you might run into. It's got everything, what the rulings are, all that. And then the next page after that is going to be the houses. So the houses in the zodiac, what they are, what they mean, what their natural planet is, blah, blah, blah. Pretty rad. And then we've got a little page after that on the different, there's 3 different types of houses. You have angular houses, succedent houses, and cadent houses. It goes through kind of what that means and which ones are which. That's important to know when you're reading a chart. You can read a chart without that stuff, but having that information really makes a better reading because there's so much more to it than just the houses and the planets and the signs. And then you've got on the next page, triplicities. And there are 4 different triplicities, which is funny. Wouldn't it be quadruplicities? But it's not. It's triplicities. You have personal houses, possessive houses, relative houses, and terminal houses. It just goes through what all that means. It's all part of the astrology. And there will be more. There'll be a lot more in there. A lot more. It's such a big subject. I could like end up having a whole book on it. This page is pretty rad. This is a page on casting runes. Now, these are not Norwegian runes, Scandinavian runes. These are witches' runes. They're a little different. Same idea, but it just tells how to cast them, in what direction you should be sitting, and all of the kind of technical details about that. We'll get to the Norse stuff later. It's just not on my plate right this second. But basically, the next 3 pages are the runes themselves. Oops, where'd we go here? The runes themselves. Oops, here we are. And their meaning, and what they signify, and what they mean when they're placed next to this or that or the other thing. So there's 3 pages of those. There's a number of them. And then there's the last page of those. And, you know, I don't feel weird showing this to you guys because these are all kind of just the basic, super, super, super basic stuff that you could learn in any book. I'm not showing you any of my rituals or anything like that. What is that? That's what. Do that. Oh no! Stuff overboard. I have a page on the Tree of Life, which there's going to be a lot after this as well. And that's hard to see. I'm sorry about that. But it's just basically the Tree of Life, the names of the different Sephiroth and what they represent. And I'm just getting started on that one. We'll get into more deeper detail on that. I have a page on how to cast a circle. And it goes into, you know, how to cast, how to consecrate the circle, and then how to cast the circle. And it specifies holidays and rituals that you would go Jeshel, and holidays and rituals that you would go Wettershins. There's a difference and there's a reason for it. It goes into that. It's pretty rad. And then how to invoke the deities, the god, the goddess, and then this is basically like a just a basic how to invoke the goddess. This is a basic how to on how to invoke the god. These are specific invocations that have been done by my group at different times to give kind of a more in-depth, like, you know, idea of it. So there's that. And then I think my last page for now is I have a page on, you can't hardly see it. That's what I love about patterned paper. It can be really thorough, but you can also keep it a little bit secret because, like, somebody just glancing at that for a second is not going to have any idea what any of it is. But basically, in a nutshell, this is the hours of the day. Let's autofocus. And the hours of the night. Come on now. So you have basically 12 hours in a day and 12 hours in a night. And those times are, they're broken up between sunrise and sunset. So at some points of the year, an hour of the day is only going to be 45 minutes, where an hour of the night is going to be an hour and 15 minutes, or whatever. There's only 2 times during the year when they're equal, when there's actually 12 hours, and each hour is actually an hour. And that's at the equinoxes. Equinox? Equal? See what I did there? And, you know, that whole thing is good for just knowing if you want to gnat's ass your magic, which I really appreciate it when people gnat's ass their magic. It makes me happy. I tend to buy from makers who gnat's ass their magic, and so I gnat's ass my magic. And that is just when you can do everything in your power that you can possibly do to align your magic in a way that it's going to be the most potent. Now, obviously, necessity has to take precedence. If you need a thing right now, you need a thing right now. You're going to do it regardless of whether you're in the hour of Venus or not, you know, or whatever. But when you have the ability to really plan ahead and do your magic in a way that that everything is in the right alignment, it's not going to not work. It's just not. It can't. So I like to add that element to anything that I make and offer so that if you're wanting to make magic in that way, you know that your tools, at least the tools that you're buying from me, are going to be made in such a way that it's going to align with that energy. So, long story short, yay! I'm all done, you guys. I've done it. I don't think there's anything else. How are you? Are you well? I hope you're well. Our state's been on fire for a while. There's a lot of people that are not well, and so I'm sending out lots of love and energy to those people. The election's coming up. If you vote, please vote. If you don't vote, do you? I don't know. I keep going back and forth on whether I'm going to even vote or not. I don't even know. I want to because I want to feel like I did something, but at the same time, in my heart, I know that it's not. It doesn't fucking matter. Whoever's going to get it's whoever's going to get it. But I'll probably still vote just to be able to say, I voted. But super frustrating. I'm not holding any judgment against anyone who decides not to. You guys, this hat. Do you like my hat? I made it myself. It reminds me of that scene in The Fifth Element. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Thanks for tuning in. I will hopefully be back sooner than 6 freaking months from now. Oh my god, I should never go that long. That's unacceptable, Zara. Unacceptable. If you want to check out my knitting on Ravelry or friend me on Ravelry, feel free. My name is Loveofthedark there, no spaces. If you would like to follow my Instagram, I am ZZZIRAAA. Over there, feel free to follow me. I do have a private account because otherwise I get fucking weirdos. Just weirdos that don't have anything to do with anything. But if you message me, I will look at your thing. And if you're a knitter or a crocheter or a witch, I will just automatically add you. That's not a problem. You can't have my Facebook info because I don't know. But again, anyway, my Etsy is etsy.com/shop/loveofthedark. And I will get on uploading this and putting some links below for some of the stuff that I talked about. Have a good night, y'all. Be well, stay safe, love each other.